With a debate raging on regarding the use of the red card and how effective or ineffective it actually is, what if you could use the power of clairvoyance to determine the appropriate time to play it? Stay tuned for live gameplay where I demonstrate this power. What is clairvoyance? It's the ability to obtain information not obtainable through normal sensory perception. In Pokemon trading card game Pocket, playing the hand scope card prior to the red card gives you the power of clairvoyance. Hey, it's Insane Rider. Welcome to the channel, The Budget Gamer. The hand scope card is an underutilized card that reveals your opponent's hand and should be considered for pairing with a red card when building a deck. Let's review the overall strategy and tactical gameplay of this combination. With the intention of playing a red card to disrupt your opponent's play strategy, the red card can be highly effective. However, if played at the wrong time, the red card can either yield a neutral or negative result, unintentionally improving your opponent's hand. To disrupt your opponent, the red card needs to return an important card or cards held in the hand back to their deck. Examples could be a basic Stage 1 or Stage 2 Pokemon card that is needed to start, continue, or finish an evolution. It could be a card that improves or reduces damage during a crucial gameplay sequence, or a card that swaps out a Pokemon, maybe provides a needed heal, or a card that draws additional cards to improve the opponent's hand. There are many other examples. With so many options and opportunities to make red card play very beneficial, there are just as many similar examples where those needed cards that I mentioned earlier are not present in your opponent's hand, and a misplayed red card inadvertently helps them out by giving them what they need. Utilizing the power of clairvoyance through the play of a hand scope removes the randomness and improper timing from a played red card. Seeing your opponent's hand allows you to assess the current situation for your opponent and assists you in making a decision if the play of a red card will give you a favorable result or not. If the hand scope reveals a favorable result, play the red card. If not, definitely hold off. As for the question of is it better to play the red card early or late in a battle, that's completely situational. Early play could prolong your opponent in starting or completing a key evolution. Mid to late match play could make the difference in completing or avoiding a knockout. The two keys are to look for the most opportune time to play the hand scope red card combination. Just don't randomly play it. Instead, use it at a key point in a match where you may be gambling on if they have a certain card or not, and that it will have a significant positive impact on the battle. And be in tune with what cards your opponent has played, how many cards they have remaining in their deck, and which cards are revealed with a hand scope. Now that we've covered the basic strategy and tactical gameplay of the hand scope red card combination, let's see it in action. Okay. So now that we have that covered, let's go ahead and dive into a match where I'm going to play a combination of the hand scope plus the red card. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into a versus match. We'll just do a random match. This is the deck I'm playing it in. It's actually a fast play Chatot deck that has Misty basically looking to energize Gyarados EX. But since it cycles through cards so fast, I figured it would be a great deck to be able to pull both the hand scope and the red card so we could see them work in action in tandem. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and queue up. My focus will be on playing the combination, and we can take a look and see if the results are something. If we would have just played the red card, it would have helped us or would have hurt us based on our decision on if we think we should play it or not. All right, so I'm going to go first. So Chatot's going to go to the active spot. I'm going to put Magikarp down. And with that, I'm going to hit start battle. So I've got a Pokeball, Gyarados EX, and Professor's Research. So not too bad of a start there. There's another Gyarados EX. With that, I'm going to go ahead and do a Pokeball. This should pull me my other Magikarp or another Chatot, one of the two. So with that, I'll go ahead and play Chatot on the bench. I'll use Professor's Research. So again, I'm looking for my hand scope and red card. So I've got one of them. I'll go ahead and place this Dome Fossil down as well. And with that, I'll start my turn. Okay, so I see a double water energy in my opponent's main queue and then the backup queue, so it looks like I'm up against another water deck. So they've assigned a point to Squirtle. Nothing else on the bench, and they're starting off with their attacks. Okay, so let's see what I can do here. So for starters, I'm going to go ahead and get that evolution to Gyarados EX completed. I will... Right now, I think what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and put this point of energy on Chatot. I really want to cycle through. I've already got one Gyarados. I don't have another Magikarp. So I'm going to go ahead and discard this Dome Fossil. I'm going to put another Dome Fossil onto the bench and discard that one. Since I'm really trying to cycle through some cards and get my deck empty as quick as possible, I'll go ahead, I'm going to hold off on that Hand Scope. I'm going to go ahead and do Mimic. I'll go ahead and toss the Gyarados and the Hand Scope back into my deck. Hoping to see those return soon. But I really kind of want to go through the deck. Not to mention my opponent has so many cards that right now is a perfect time to do it. Alright, so let's see what they got going for them. So this next turn with the red card and the Hand Scope, we'll go ahead and test out the Clairvoyance portion of how Hand Scope helps out. Alright, so my opponent takes an early lead. And again, I'm not so much focused on winning or losing as much as making sure that we can test this out. So, Chatot to the active spot. With that, I've got a Misty now. So I'll go ahead and play Misty on my Gyarados. So that's part of the strategy of playing this quick play deck. Now, follow my live streams, you know that I flip horrible coins for Misty. And I have I had a record where I had 8 Misty Trainer cards in a row with tails, and then followed up, I got 1 heads, and then I got another 9 in a row. So I was like 1 out of 17. So I'm going to give it a flip, see what happens. Alright, so she helps out a little bit today. At least 2 energy is better than what I normally get. So I'll take that. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and place this Magikarp down. I'm going to start off with a Hand Scope, and let's see what my opponent's sitting on. Alright, so they got they got a Poliwhirl, a Poliwrath, a Sabrina, a Misty. They're probably really looking at that Misty. So I'm going to go hit OK. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and play the red card. They did not have a Blastoise EX, so there is a risk that I could give them a Blastoise. But the fact that they had Misty, we can at least return Misty back. Alright, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place a third point of energy over here on Gyarados. I have a second Gyarados to go with my Magikarp, so it doesn't really make sense. Now, to test this out, let's see if we actually, we'll wait a little bit. I could have hand scoped again a second time to see if I handed them over a Blastoise, but we'll see it either way. We'll see a Blastoise pop on the evolution of War Total, and we'll know we would give them a Blastoise. Or perhaps they got lucky on that one draw. Alright, so they've got a 1-0 lead. We've got Chatot in the active spot. We've got a Magikarp on the bench just waiting to evolve from a Goldfish. And we got Gyarados, who at this point will be ready to start attacking soon. I do have a 1 retreat cost with Chatot, so I do have to figure that out. We'll hope Professor Oak can help me with some type of ability to attack. Alright, so with that said, there's another Dome Fossil. I'll go ahead and play Professor's Research to start this. There's a Pokeball and a red card, so I have the combination again. So I'll go ahead and get this evolution Gyarados done. Let's go ahead and check their... we'll play the Hand Scope again, since it's a good time right now. So they got a Sabrina, a Poliwhirl, and a Potion. Alright, so I'm not going to play the red card, because the last thing I would want to do is get Blastoise on the table. So I'll hold off this time. With that, I'll go ahead and play a Pokeball. That should probably just basically be cycled to the bottom of the deck. Yep, to my discard pile. With that, I'll put Dome Fossil down. I have no choice but to unfortunately, I need to put a point of energy on Chatot. All I have left is red card, so I'll go ahead and bring that back into my deck, and I'll pull 3 more cards. which is my last 3 cards. All right, so there's my second Misty. And with that, I'm all the way through my deck. All right, so my opponent, I'm sure, is jonesing to get that Blastoise going. They got their Poliwhirl, they got their Knuckle Punch ready to go. There's Misty. Misty, I'm sure, is going to go and power up Wartortle. Let's see how they do on their coin flip. Tails, good start for them. Good start. 2, 3, 3. Not bad at all. Much better than I typically get from a Misty. All right, then there's an attack for 40 points of damage. I need to be careful that my opponent doesn't get a 2-0 lead on me. All right, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and retreat back. I'm going to put Gyarados into the active spot. With that, I'm going to go ahead and play Misty on my other Gyarados. Let's see what happens here. Oh, I got a Tails. Okay. So no luck on my backup. I'm going to place a point of energy there. And with that, I'm going to attack. Alright, so that ties it up 1-1. And let's see where they... Let's see what happens next. Okay. Wartortle to the front, the only option my opponent has right now. Let's see if they get that Blastoise EX. They've been searching for it. They're going to Sabrina. Alright, so they'll go ahead and Sabrina out. At this point, bring... I don't want to use Gyarados. I'll go ahead and donate a fossil card. Now, they really need some help on the bench, unfortunately. So, they weren't really dealt the best hand. Perhaps our play helped that out. Alright, so I have no cards, so with that I'm going to discard. I'm going to go ahead and move Gyarados back to the active spot. And unfortunately for my opponent, go ahead and, yeah, they're going to concede. The match was basically over. So that was just a quick demonstration of how you can gain the power of Clairvoyance by using a hand scope in combination with a red card. Now, you know, there's a certain amount of math and statistics behind the red card. A lot of the math indicates that only 25% of the time the red card helps you out. Roughly 50% of the time the red card is kind of neutral. And then 25% of the time it actually benefits your opponent. I would say in our instance in this battle that it probably helped us out more than it hurt us. Ultimately, my opponent was able to get Blastoise EX on the table, and that allowed us to get the win. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, let's battle.